topic because God knows this is an area we struggle in.
Yeah.
So Romans 12:2 says, do not conform to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah.
Okay? So what does the world tell us to do with money?
Spend it.
Right? So there's 3 things you can do with money. All right. Number 1 is I can spend it. That's going to be on bills. That's going to be just, I'm in a debt cycle, and now what used to be my money ain't my money no more. I got to give it to somebody else. I got to spend it. The second thing I can do is I can waste it.
Okay. Shoes,
purses,
red bottoms.
Red bottoms.
And see, I ain't got none of that. None of my $12,000 is on red bottom shoes.
Hey, I get
when you ask me what my thing
What's
is.
your thing?
What is my, so a lot of mine, if I just look at my everyday spending habits right now, okay, so my everyday spending habits is probably, I do eat out a lot. I don't cook.
That ain't my problem.
Okay. You eat out a lot?
I do eat out a lot.
How many times you eat out a day?
Well, when I was working in the office, I was eating out lunch and dinner.
Would you say you spend $10 to $15 or $15 to $20 each time?
I was probably spend about 10 to 15
each time. Okay,
yeah.
So 2 times a day, 5 days a week. Okay, so we'll just say 15. All right, a day. That's $30 a day times 5. All right, so that's $150 a week,
right.
which is $600 a month.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's the pattern we live in.
But see, this is what I did. I psyched myself up to say, well, I don't buy groceries.
Yeah.
So it evens itself out because I don't buy groceries. But if I look at my spending habits overall, I think my thing is I grew up poor too.
Sure.
I grew up where, we had to boil hot water sometimes. We was washing clothes out in the bathtub, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I never forget one day we lived off of 32nd and Clifton. And it was this crazy man called Cowboy that was in that area. And so he would come steal people's water and stuff. And one day he came over to the house. My aunt had fixed, I think, a pot of hamburger helper. And he came over and ended up eating a hamburger helper. And my aunt was like, Cowboy, you done ate up the kids' food. So, growing up, when you seeing that government cheese, you fixing French toast with no egg. When you grow up like that, for me, it was like, now I feel like it's my right to buy stuff.
Yeah.
But instead of learning from that, because our parents made it, just think, because I come from 10 children. So I was the last of 10. So I got all the hand-me-downs. I got all the, so my mother, and I was raised by a single parent. So instead of trying to be better and saying, because I say to my kids, I don't want my kids to struggle, I want them to do better than what I did. I want them to live better than what I did. We should have learned from that, because our parents made it with $6,000 a year. They made it through the adversity with $15,000 a year. That was big money, So we don't cook a lot at home like we used to. We don't know how. We should have looked and watched how they budgeted their money, because they made it through the process, and with the little bit of money that they had. And now we practice that. We've gotten to the point where we think that, since we didn't have it, we want it now, instead of learning from what happened in the past. We do the complete opposite.
You're right. You're right.
Or if you had it, you want to keep it, even though you're not at that level to live at that level, which was my problem. My father was a phenomenal provider.
Yes.
But he really worked hard, and I didn't realize it until I got older that he sacrificed so much just to be able to put so that we were comfortable.
Yeah.
And so he passed away about 4 years ago. But he set my mother up, not to be rich, none of that good stuff, but to survive. And I didn't realize that took a lot of sacrifice, a lot that I guess I wasn't willing to make, because I'm walking out, spoiled. That's all it was, just walking out into the world like, hey, that things are supposed to just happen for me.
Yes.
And so it was a very valuable lesson. So I stand here today saying, I may have income coming in, but the discipline, that long term, like, as you said, and that really hit home. You gonna pay now, or you gonna pay later?
Yes.
So that is very profound to me.
Yeah. It's got to be paid. The price has got to be paid. So that third piece is, again, that's good. So spend it, we can waste it, or we can invest it. So we got the first two down. Right?
But how do you change that mindset? I mean, it's really like you said, that renewing of that mind. How do you break free from that mindset of whatever the reasons why you financially are where you are? It all really stems back to our childhood, right? Everything that we deal with in life goes back to some type of trauma that we've experienced in our childhood, whether we had or did not have.
Right.
So for me, I didn't have. So, and not that I have a lot of stuff now, because I don't. Even when I look at my closets, I'm like, well, where's this $12,000 at? Because I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? They like, I ain't got red bottoms and all these clothes and stuff. So I'm like, well, where is it? It's from robbing Peter to pay Paul. Transferring one balance to one car to another car to another car. You know what I'm saying? So that's my situation.
You make sense. You make sense.
So how do you change that mindset?
The first thing you gotta do is you gotta make a decision. Okay, I know this sounds simple, but I'm gonna make this very clear and break this down. Okay, the word decide. The suffix means to put to death. CIDE, homicide, pesticide, suicide, genocide. When you decide, what you do is you put to death all other options. The reason we stay in a perpetual cycle of life is we have not made the decision. Even when you say, I just want out of this debt, so I'm going to bankrupt it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not a decision to change my life.
It's a reaction.
It's a reaction to what hurts me on a daily basis. And so my thought is, if I can get rid of this, then it goes away. But the pattern stays. Okay? So you got to be looking and saying, you know, what I really got to do is I gotta decide. I gotta put to death that living to the edge is an option.
Living to the edge is an option.
We don't, as African Americans, we have the wrong conversations. See, back in the day, this is what Harriet Tubman said. She said, I freed hundreds and hundreds of slaves, but I would have freed hundreds more if they only knew they were slaves. Do you know how powerful that statement is? I came all the way down. Like, she didn't drive. She put her life on the line to come down and say, hey, freedom looks like this. And some of them said, Master, good to us down here. So they wasn't ready to change. And that's from a job to an entrepreneur is a whole nother thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Preach, my brother, because I am telling you, you are so correct. I own a cosmetology school. So when I opened the cosmetology school, I gave away 10 free tuition, free scholarships.
Wow.
Our mentality, couldn't get one person to enroll. Couldn't get one person to enroll because of that mentality. So go on and preach, brother. I just wanted to tell you that. It's that mentality, that slave mentality.
They don't even know you don't even know that. So what we doing, and again, from an entrepreneur, we could dive into that if we get,
we're gonna get there.
So when it comes to this money piece is we have not made a decision that we want freedom. Okay? What we want are things. Because attached to my history, you got, man, I grew up poor, but some of the most successful people grew up poor. Okay, this brother next to us, he came at the last of 10. Now, I don't know their financial situation. My suspicion is they wasn't
bleak.
They wasn't on the top 400 richest people. So why is he successful? Because he made a decision that's what it was going to be. Okay? It's all about putting to death all other options.
So after you make that decision, what's the next step?
So now you got to have a money philosophy. Okay? So I'm going to decide first. I'm going to put to death that not being free is an alternative. Freedom is the only, and freedom looks a certain way. So let me give y'all an example. If you were to give me a definition of freedom, how would you define that? What does that mean financially? What does it mean? If I say you're financially free, what does that mean?
For me, I would say financial freedom means having the ability to do what I want to do with my money. Whenever I want to do it.
Yeah.
and not have to worry about, well, if I do this, then I can't do this. If I bless this person, then I can't pay this. Or
Absolutely.
if I go purchase this, I can't pay this bill. So just having that freedom of not stress of I can just spend my money the way I want to spend it.
Yeah.
Because it's mine. Tia, what's I mean to you?
I think freedom for me is when I think of feeling really good, I have a surplus. It's a surplus, right? It's just it's either invested, it's growing, it's working, it's multiplying for me.
Good.
That's what I think of real true freedom.
Yeah.
Time.
I would say, just like how you were pointing out, like to be able to spend and not worry about, okay, I'm taking from something else, but then also to the fact of too having something saved up.
Right.
So, and my
Definitely.
biggest fear is something really happening tragic, and I don't have the financial backup to take care of it.
Yeah.
And now I've been in a situation where I've had to scrape to try to get something together, and that within itself is super scary and super stressful.
Yeah, I would definitely say that too,
Okay.
having that
Yeah.
ability to have a savings, because
Yeah.
especially being a homeowner.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah.
things go wrong, like this summer, my air condition went out, and I'm sitting here, I'm single, so I'm like, how am I gonna pay this bill? And just so happened my daddy was in town.
Yeah.
Thank God,
Right.
because who I call, I'm 41. I still call my daddy when I need something financial. I'm like, Daddy.
Yeah.
We sitting at the table like, my birthday coming up in September, right? Can I get that early birthday gift?
Get a 9-month
Right.
advance on that.
So he slid me some money to help pay for that.
Yeah.
But then on one hand, I'm like, well, dang, I wish I had the money saved up so that I could pay for it myself. And then what change he gave me, I could have just did whatever I wanted to with it. So definitely savings. Peanut, what does financial freedom mean to you?
Financial freedom means to me being free from debt. I guess you could say you never really be free from debt, but to be able to have money, residual money, to be able to set aside for those type of situations where you need to buy things for your house that break down, to also invest, to be able to invest and keep the investment going. A lot of times people, they want to, and they get an investment, somebody like yourself come along and say, I have an excellent opportunity for you, and you start the investment really well, and then 2-3 months later, the money, you can't keep it going, so it gets canceled. So,
I need my money.
so financial freedom means to me to be able to use the money wisely to live right now and in the future.
Exactly.
That's good.
And
Live
to
right
leave
now
something for
and
your
the future.
family, a
Yeah.
legacy, something.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what they do. You know, you get that
Absolutely.
generational wealth, and you're born into it. And
Yeah.
I would love to be able to I'm a grandmother. I have 3 granddaughters, and I would love to be able. I know. Peanut's looking at me like,
Black
what?
don't crack.
When did that happen?
Right. Well, she's gonna.
Black
So,
don't crack.
so I would love to be able to. But, I'm saying that with words, but then something is also resonating with me when you said making a decision. So, words are empty when we say, I hope, I wish I could. Those are just empty words. It's like you got to, your heart and mind have to agree, and then you have to act.
Yes.
Yes.
And and so this is really powerful for me to say, just like anything else because I consider myself, I am a go-getter. I get stuff done. And it's all about, now you have to look at things from a different perspective, right? I got to be really clear on what my mindset is. So it cannot be, for me, just empty words. It has to be a true commitment to, just like anything else that I'm making a commitment to.
That's absolutely right.
What does financial freedom mean to you?
I think
Andre?
everything that you all said is right. I mean, it's freedom of time, it's freedom of money. It's an expectation that things are going to be good. That's my expectation, is that life will be good. It's not that I hope that it does, right? See, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. You can feel what people think just based on what they say. That's in their heart.
That's right.
Their expectation is they don't know if they're going to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
But they say, but God has got my back. But do you really believe that?
Yeah. Come on here.
Because your
Come on
words
now.
don't line up with that.
That's right.
Okay? And your behavior don't either.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So what we have to look at is we got to have a money philosophy now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what
Okay.
is a money philosophy?
So this is my expectation about what I do with money. So I'm going to give you all maybe 5 or 6 points here. Okay. This is my money for life.